It's Mindful Mondays. It's Mindful Mondays back. Come back. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm K Ham Speaks. We're getting ready to join in Necee. Yeah. Y'all welcome. Happy Monday. Hey, Kiki. Hey, boo. Hey, boo. Back in this thing like swimwear. Yes, Lord. Gonna try this thing one more gander. One more gander. Okay? Gotta get it right this time. Gotta get it right. Okay? Kiki, Nicole, thank you for joining. Hey, Nicole. K Ham Speaks. Y'all know me. Necee. Woo! We got it.
Hi.
Hey. Happy Mindful Monday. You getting it straight. I'm getting it straight.
Hello.
Is on. Yes. Nicole Lyric is in the house. Keith's in the house. You in the house. And I'm in the house. Yes. How you doing on this good Monday, this Mindful Monday? How you doing, Necee?
Hey, Necee is doing great.
That's
we
good.
Get a lot of this technology.
Listen, we learning as we go. Y'all know we learning as we go.
Yes.
We ain't no pro yet, but we on our way. That's how we get there.
Will be.
Yes. Y'all, it's Mindful Mondays for everybody that's joining. I might be going in and out of the camera because I'm trying to see new comments and what's going on. But today's topic is on does help me out.
Gender roles
still exist today? Does gender roles still exist?
Yes.
Particularly in your relationship, does gender roles still exist? Hey, Sherry. Hey, Cuz. Y'all come on in.
Hey, everybody.
We are live, y'all, with Mindful Mondays. Today's topic is, does gender roles still exist? All right, y'all get that in your mind. Let us know. Weigh in as we get into the discussion later on today. But for now, listen, we have a couple of announcements. We want to share our drinks with you. Tonight, I am drinking on a nice peach mango margarita. Yes, what do you know? You know, let's look cute. I should have put my orange peel in there. That's all I'm missing.
Man, we playing grown tonight.
Little bit. Little 6 ounce. What you drinking tonight?
Some of us are. I'm still drinking on ice cold water with a metal straw.
I know it's cool going down, huh? With that metal straw, huh?
Oh yes. Very good.
All right. We have an announcement for you guys. Listen, get ready. K Ham Speaks. I don't know if you guys know, but I am a spoken word artist and a poet. And looking at everybody in the room, I know y'all already know. Okay? I'm performing again at CB Bistro in Orlando, Florida on Hiawassee in July. Wait for that date. Wait on it. It's coming sooner than you know. So I want y'all to be prepared. I'm going to tell you as soon as I know. When I know, you'll know. And I want you to mark your calendars, okay? K Ham Speaks going to put down another show with Ty Talks and Jared Armstrong, along with hosted by Monica May. So listen, get ready for that, okay?
Hey, sounds good to me.
Awesome. Now, Necee, do you have any announcements for us today?
Yeah, I just want to, and I may have missed some, but I think you mentioned that you did perform just this past Friday. So definitely want to shout out to everyone that helped your team, Nicole Lyric and Jasmine Reed.
Woo!
Pastor Alice couldn't have did it without you guys. Thank you so much for helping out with that and always being there and always being supportive. It is appreciated more than you know. Again, another quick shout out to Monica May and George for their establishment.
Thank
you. Appreciate that. Ty Talks and Jared Armstrong, phenomenal artists as well. So yeah, it was just a great time. And like Denise said, when she goes again next month, we hope everybody can come out and see it. It's a great experience.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Well, cool. So shall we dive right in? I think that wraps us up, right? For our intro.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Gender roles. So what do you think as far as gender roles in society today? Are there gender roles? Are there certain things a man should do versus a woman? Or just what are your thoughts on all of that?
It's absolutely gender roles. I think that's part of culture. You know, in different cultures and societies, I think the gender roles will change drastically from what we all may know. But does gender roles still exist? Absolutely. Does it exist in the traditional way of what we may have known it to be? No, maybe not. Not in some regions. But I think in some areas, you know, in some cultures, it definitely does probably run stronger than it does in the American culture. But yeah, I definitely think gender roles exist today, for sure. How about you?
I think they do exist. I think I'm probably a little bit more old-fashioned. I guess with my age and everything around certain things that I would expect a man to do and certain things I would expect a woman to do. Not to say that those things can't be equal, I guess. I guess both parties can do them. So I guess to me it's just a matter of what you want, right? And it may not be the same recipe for someone else as far as gender roles concerned. So, but yeah, they definitely exist. I think they need to exist in order for the family to operate, right? In order for the family to do what needs to be done, everybody needs to know their role.
Agreed. Came in the room. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Tay Suggs. And hey, Shanita. We appreciate y'all for joining us. We're talking about gender roles. I definitely think that they alter to that point you said. They do alter. And I think there are some gender roles that we hear in other cultures and society that, you know, you probably won't agree. Like, I'll just jump right into it. My nail tech, I don't know her culture or ethnicity, but my nail tech was in her, or is in her early 30s. And she told me she still lives at home with her parents. And it's custom in their culture to stay with your parents until you get married. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You're to live with your parents until you get married. And if I asked her, I said, well, what happens if you never get married? Then you always stay with your parents. And that's culture, custom in their culture. And it is custom for the man to ask the father for the daughter. And when we think about gender roles, I say in their culture, the man is expected to ask the wife to marry for marriage, and the woman is expected, the daughter is expected to stay in the house with the parents until a man comes along and says he wants to marry her, or however that goes. You still there? No.
There you go.
So you missed all that. You there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. Your sound had left for a moment, so you were talking and it just went. We couldn't hear you, but we can hear you now.
Just let me know when you can't hear me. Throw up a finger or something.
I did that, but it's probably delayed.
Okay. I missed that. I'll be looking for that signal next time. I missed that.
Yeah.
I see on here where Rosa said she feels that the roles should be split 50-50. What do you, like, elaborate on that? What you mean? You know, I definitely agree 50-50. I don't want to be doing no 80-20 now.
Now, it depends. I be having a problem with that 50-50.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
On some things.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
Huh?
I say speak on it. You have a problem with that 50-50 with some things.
Well, I guess, okay. I'll put it like this. I think everybody has their role. I'm going to do 100% of what I need to do, but I want the man to do, my partner to do 100% of what he needs to do. So when you say 50-50, like if we're going out to dinner, since the first date, ain't no 50-50. I expect the man to pay 100% of that bill. So it depends, but not like housework. I feel, the woman's main job is to, not main job, but it's one of her main roles is to keep the house clean, keep the clothes clean. Not to say that the man can't do that. Not to say that I can't go mow the yard if he needs help outside with the yard. But to me, it's overall his responsibility to do the men things, and it's the woman's responsibility to do the woman things. But they help each other out, though. So that's my thoughts.
You did two things. So the first, you said stuff. Okay, what are men things? What are woman things? Like, who defines that? Like, let's get into that. What is that?
Okay, I think it's going to be defined by the two people that are in the relationship. But in my case, it'll be defined by me and the person that I'm with. And we'll sit down and say, okay, these are things mowing the lawn, things to do with the car, things like that are your roles and responsibility. Mine is to cook and clean, keep the house clean and stuff like that. Not to say that we can't help each other out. One Saturday I may feel like some exercise and I'll go mow the yard. That's no problem, or what have you. But for the main part, in order to keep the house going, I think things you have to know who's doing what, or else nothing's going to get done.
Yeah.
And so those are just the roles. So that's just how I see it. What are some thoughts on from our live?
Well, real quick before you go to the audience, real quick, you said something, and I think that's important because part of the definition is of gender roles is a task. And you said something that if you don't know what your task is, we're not on the same page. I think that is important, that gender in that case and in those cases, to make sure we're on the same page. It is important to have gender or roles. Now, we say gender roles, but if you take off gender just to have roles to know who's gonna do what and it's clearly communicated, I think that's definitely necessary. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's what brings it up to current times, because back in the day, it's like the roles were, I'm going to say, decided for you.
Right.
Society kind of decided the roles, where men went to work, they made the money, the woman stayed home, they took care of the kids. If the kids were involved in anything, the woman made sure that those things were done. Whereas now, the difference I see is we get to talk about those roles. It's not necessarily that the woman stays home and take care of the kids. Maybe the man do that and the woman goes out now in these days and time. It can be the breadwinner. So it's whatever those two people that are together decide who's going to be doing what to keep the family operational. And the woman may be better at paying the bills and keeping up with that than the man, or vice versa. So whoever is, should have that role, then that's who should take it. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, but I think the roles need to be clearly defined within those two people.
That's important. I know we get into the comments, but like you said, it's just, what do you say? It's what you decide. I think that was beautiful and important because it's amongst the two in the relationship. It's what you all decide, not necessarily what society says and what culture says. But I'd love to get into that later. But what do we have in the comments?
Russell says, if the woman worked around the house, I feel that the man should help her out. And he could, if she needs help. Yes, help me. Or sometimes she just may be tired of doing it. If you need help more in the yard, I'll come help you out. Or maybe one Saturday you just don't feel like it, and I don't mind doing it. So I'm not saying, you got to be locked into it. That's not my opinion. You can help out, we can help out each other. But in order for things to get done, you got to know who's going to do it. That has to be decided and discussed, I think.
I do agree that, like you said, decide and discuss. I see that Marsha says she don't believe in no 50-50, dog. She don't
believe in Marsha.
And I think in some cases, okay, well, how I see 50-50 is, not saying we, if I do inside, you do outside, but if you should be meeting me halfway. And whatever our roles is, you should be meeting me halfway. But there are some things when you get defined, well, why? Because I'm not going to be in a relationship where I'm giving more than you giving. I say in this whole totality that the relationship in the totality should be balanced. But there are areas where you may give more than me. Now, let's say financially. Well, you may do a little bit more. It may be 80-20. Let's say in the house, it may be 100-0. But I feel like in the whole relationship that should be balanced. Now I take this back, because just in saying that, if the two are comfortable with in the whole relationship with one person giving 80 and the other giving 20%, and that's where y'all work at, then that's where y'all work at. And I think it go back to what you said, what you agree. So I just feel like as long as it's balanced, you know what I'm saying? And I guess every relationship balance might not be 50-50. Balance might be 75-25. Still make 100.
Well, and like you said too, though, it depends because if a major decision is to be made, I think we both should discuss that major decision. I don't want to come home and you telling me, oh, I've had a vasectomy or whatever, you know, something major like that, and it wasn't discussed with me. I mean, that's not no.
But that happens
That's
though.
not.
Think about it though. That happens for like, and I think that, like you say, you when it comes to major decisions, now we want to, you want to be included. But in some relationships, maybe the major decision is on rest with one person, and it's like I'll tell you after I made that decision.
Hmm. And that goes back to like you said as well. That's what makes you click. I mean, if you on the other half of that and you're okay with it, then it is okay. Because what's for me may not be for someone else. Everybody has their own way that they would like things to be, and if you find another person that fits with that, then you know that's y'all. So in that instance, people can look at you and say, "Oh, why you let him do this or why you do that?" That's y'all business. It is nobody's business. You just need to tell them to mind the business that paid them.
That part, mine would pay you, son. Mine would pay you. And I think that's their, like what you said. And I want to get back to this because you said it's what you all decide, but yet so often the gender roles are formed or come from our teachings or what we saw our mama them do or what's in our culture. So how do you get to what works for you in your relationship and what you were brought up or your culture of, your culture? What's your advice or your thought on that?
So, okay, what's the question again? You say, how do I get to that? How to be settled on it? Is that the question?
So you have your culture, what you come up with in your culture, and then you have what you and your spouse have to decide on how do you get across those barriers when it's like, well, this is in my culture, this is what I know, this is what I've been taught, this is what's in my family or whatever, versus the new thing that you and your significant other forming.
But that's a good point because some people don't change, right? If that's the way they were raised, then that's the way they want to live out their life. Then I just think at that point, if you don't find a match for you, sometimes it just doesn't fit. Maybe based on the way he was raised or based on the way she was raised, there's just no common ground. Because if you do try to make it fit, then somebody's going to be miserable. That's not going to be a happy life. And then you don't want to change so much to try to please this other person to where you're not happy and you're not yourself.
Yeah.
So you got to find the right person. That's what I think.
I do. You better find the right person. I see Key Love says, I agree. I automatically tend to do the house just because of how I grew up. And I'm fine with it because my boyfriend is always willing to help. And he's not a slob. And he's appreciative of it. So I don't mind. Yeah. And I think that says, like what you were saying, like find that place where you all agree, like, okay, you know what, I do the house, you do this. And I think some of that stuff, like she said, that's how she grew up, how she was raised. Again, we go back to how we grew up, what we saw other people doing. And in essence, being you just had, it works for them. She grew up doing that. He not, hey, it worked for them. That's a balance. And that's why you say find the right person. Find that right person that balances you and matches you in that role that you're in. Hey, Pat's Hair Palace, thanks for joining. Am I back? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, cool.
Marsha says,
I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
No. Oh, you said I'm not talking. Okay, that's why I can't hear you. So Marsha says that each couple should work together for success, so she can do only if she want to. But see, I get what you're saying. Each couple could work together, but why do this so she can do only if she wants to? To me, that's not right. You can't do it. You got to consider what the other person wants to do too. It shouldn't be, well, it could be if that's what y'all agree to. But both people want to feel important in the relationship. So you said she can do only if she wants to. What about if he can do only if he wants to? So again, you got to make sure that it's balanced between two people, I think.
And so I guess just bringing us back, does gender roles exist today? And I mean, absolutely they exist today. And then I think the important part we're saying is find somebody that balances you, and it's what you and that person decide on and figure out it's going to be for the most part. Nicole Lyric says it's all about compromise. It's what each person agrees to. That seems to be the consensus, what each person agrees to. And I'm thinking like, but that's how differences are made, because you can have someone that comes from one culture and one upbringing. Let's just say their religion is one thing and then their spouse religion is another thing. And we can't act like our religion, our family, our environment don't shape the roles that we play in society and in our relationships. They do hold weight, into the person or the product that we become.
Pastor Palace said, yes, they do too much.
Who do too much? But I agree they do too much. But who doing it?
I don't know.
I agree now. I do. We'll find out who
they do
what
too
she's
much.
talking
Who
about.
does too much at Pastor Palace?
But yes, gender roles in the relation, or not even just in the, your spouse relationship. Is that the only place where gender roles will exist? No. In the workplace, right? In any place, I guess.
See, and now one of the things my thought is, as far as gender roles, I do believe that the man should be the provider, the protector, those things, and I think the woman should take care of the home and do those things. That's just me and how I was raised. But obviously, for personal reasons, I won't divulge here. Obviously, somewhere that must have changed, because sometimes the woman is the provider, right? More so than the man. And that's not a situation that some women would like to find themselves in, but sometimes we do. And you just go with it because life happens, right? And then one day you may say, wait a minute, this isn't working for me. I'm not happy with the way this is. And it's probably because of the way you was raised or the way what your expectations are. So you definitely, I think when you're dating, is a great time to find out about their religion, find out what their belief is about how the bills should get paid, about who should do the work, who should stay home, who's going to rear the kids if you work to have kids. Find out how it was with their mom and dad. Try to ask questions about, hey, how did your family grow? Because typically, what happens with them and their family may be what they're trying to repeat with you. And again, dating is to see hey, am I going to be happy in the long run? In the short run, it's all good and fine, but is this, how is this going to work out? Not that you really want to go on the first date, saying, hey, if we get married, how's this going to work?
What's your religion? You want to have
dating process. Yes.
I get it.
You're finding out these things throughout your dating process. You may date for a year or two to find out, hey, is this person someone that I, see myself with? And if not, you might want to, cut your losses and say, hey, this isn't the one because of all these differences.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Cutting your loss because of all these differences, we ain't getting nowhere. Hey, a goddess earthly. Hey, boo.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Nicole Lyric said, been in that situation, and it did not work for me. But it wasn't what I saw growing up. I came from a two home income. So been in the situation, I think it goes back to when you said providing, but she came from a 2-home income, and you were saying, well, the woman may be the only provider. And I like that, because she's saying, now, I didn't see this growing up. I didn't see the woman just being a provider. I saw a 2-home income, but yet that ain't the situation I got into. And that's good, because though you didn't grow up this way, and then it goes back to what you were saying, find that common ground and find where you and your significant other match, and then at that point, if you can't match, then you have to split your differences. And I'll just do something as simple as maybe one person is a neat freak, like to keep their house clean, and the other person ain't. How long can that last? Really, can that be the thing to not make us last together? And I would have to say yes for some people. Maybe they can't give you that 20%. Maybe they need you to be on more than, you know, I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah. Pastor say, I think it's called help makers. Say we work together to get it all done. Bills, housework, yard work, whatever it takes to keep us going as one. That's right. We were made to be the help mate, right? The helpmate, I think, is what we are. So we're here to help, not to be the one that needs the help.
Oh, that's good. So, okay, now that's getting in the word right there. Now we getting in the word, because in the word it says the woman is the helpmate. That means, you said something when you said that. We're going to slow that down.
I love the helpmate, help me, one of them. Yeah.
That helpmate, that meant I'm to help you, not I'm the one needing help, son. I'm coming to help you. I like that. And woo, because that's a good general role. The woman is the helpmate. Boy, that might make some of y'all men mad. They ain't even on here. When they look back at this, some of y'all gonna be mad. The woman is to help you. The woman ain't the one who need the help. I just want y'all to understand that. That means we come with the help. We got the solution. So when we say it ain't that we think we know, because we helping you. That was good. That was good. I caught that. Jasmine Reed said, I don't want to be fixing into. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't want to be fixed into a role, but at the same time, I will naturally do those things that were considered woman's work. Back in the day, as long as he is naturally being a provider or protector. If the roles are reversed, that's okay too, but I'm not doing it all. Hey, that's the thing about a woman. Hey, we can reverse it, baby, but I ain't doing it all. The woman can do both now. That is good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Now, although we could do it all, but we should not have to do it all. And I would say, if you find yourself in a relationship, male or female, doing it all, that's not, yeah. To me, that would not work. Like you said, we got to figure out who's going to do what. But I'm like Jasmine, I'm doing it all. But I think you have some women that do expect the men to do it all, be the provider, be the protector, take care of the home, take care of the kids, and what you're doing. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody needs to do their role.
And that's the part about this gender. The most important word, if you remove gender, is role. What's your role? Where you at? Are you showing up? Where are you showing up at? And producing, like Pat Sarah said, to stay together. Like somebody else said, for the success for us to stay together. What's your role? Everybody has a role to play, and I think that's the most important. And I know that a lot of us grew up with the man go to work, woman stay home and cook and clean, but as society and life has progressed, that may not be the thing. And no matter whether you both going out to work or whatever, what's your role to keep us together successfully? I think that's the key that I take away. That I look at this. Because you can be raised one way.
Thanks for watching, Mrs. Frost.
Thank you. You can be raised one way and not end up doing a raise and seeing your parents do something and still wind up in a relationship where you may be doing the complete opposite.
Correct. And you know why that is?
Why that is?
I just love him.
Oh, I know, but I just love. Yeah.
I love doing stuff you never thought you would.
Yeah, love make you do some crazy things, boy. It do. Make you stay in places you didn't think you would stay. Make you take stuff you said you would never take. Make you turn turns you said your car ain't even move that way. Boy, love do some things. It do some things.
Make you work 3-4 jobs while he stay at home.
with his feet up in the AC and come home ain't folded nothing. He or she, because they all out there. You come home ain't folded a thing and washed the thing, and you can't figure out how they tighter than you. Yeah. How you beat me tired? Yes. Hey, Ebony. I think you said I might have missed that. Just seen it. Hey, Ebony. But yes, gender definitely exists. Let me ask you this before we go. Okay, so I have a scenario. You're on a first date, and I know this may be a weird question, but work with me. Don't make me feel slow out here. You know, you're on a first date, okay, with a guy. What's the gender role that you expect for him to play in that first date, and what role are you playing in that first date?
That's a great question. So, on the first date, these days and times, I will meet them at the restaurant. Let's say we're going out to dinner. That's the date. So on the dinner date, my expectation is that he pulls out my chair while as I'm sitting, and then he helps me push it in. I like, gentlemanly things like that. What they say, chivalry. I like that. And then my expectation of him would be to pay for the bill, all of it. Now my role in that,
You got two little things you slid in, and I want him to push my chair out, and I want him to pay for the bill, all of it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. All of it. But my role then would be to make sure I don't order crazy just because I know he's paying for it, right? I will order as though I were paying for it, but I wouldn't pay for it. But I'm just saying, don't, just because you know someone else is splitting the bill, don't go ordering all that extra stuff. That's not cool. So that would be one of my roles. My other role is to find out as much as I can. I will probably be more of a listener. And if both of us trying to listen and nobody's talking, I don't know how that's going to work. But I'm just trying to enjoy the date and just have great conversation would be my role as well, and to listen. But that's it. I mean, we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, on the first date. What about you?
So me on the first date, my role is if that person asks me out, the role, if you ask me out, I expect you to play is the payer. You the payer. When you ask out, you the payer. So I assuming that person asks me out, they the payer. That's the role I
So
play.
whoever asks, if the woman asks the man out, then she should pay.
You the payer. You the payer. You ask. You ask me out. You the woman asks. You the payer. Don't ask first if you don't want to be the payer. And then, I like my door open and closed, so I expect my doors open and closed, car doors, anything with a handle, no handle, wave across, show your face. I expect you. I expect, I guess when you talk about roles, that's about it on the first date. That's it. Open my door and know how to balance a conversation. I expect that. I expect for you to know how to have conversation. That means listen and speak. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So Pat Callis says she expects to be cute and for him to pay for everything.
Talk on it, Pat Callis. Talk on it.
He's going to be cute and he's going to pay the bill and enjoy it.
I know that's right.
Yeah, and it's paying it.
I know that's right.
Hey, Auntie Bay.
Hey, Auntie. TT in the house.
And Goddess Earthly says YRP. Yeah, she probably meant YDP. I'm thinking, yeah. Marsha says, don't just order salad like she did and you still be hungry.
Now, see, you ordered too light. Why you was supposed to order, at least a main course and a dessert or, appetizer.
Okay. A Goddess Earthly says, first date, whoever asks pays. So that's aligned with what you said, Kenise. Whoever asks pays. So she says, I appreciate when they open doors and be a gentleman. I give great conversation and an awesome listener. Correct. I agree with you. And Jasmine says she agreed. If I ask out, I will pay. But if he beats me to it, then I'm not going to stop him. Amen, sister. And
Amen.
all they
Beat
got to do
me.
is tell me
He gonna
one
beat you.
time. Let me get that, and I'm going to say, okay, thank you. I'm not going to say, no, I got it. We're not going back and forth on that.
Right.
The
No.
minute you offer, okay, thank you.
I'm only arguing with my friends. You know, that's it. But
I ain't even arguing with them if they're offering to pay.
You said a comment. I never answered what role I guess I expect to play on the first date. As if y'all care, but I care. I expect to be a good listener, be pretty, have common sense in my mind, and smile and smile and smile again. That's all. That's it.
I agree.
Yes.
And
So is that all?
yeah, the date is over at the end of the restaurant. There ain't nothing else going on after that, though. Just because you ain't paying for nothing but the meal.
But you ain't paying for nothing but the meal. So that's that. I mean, any final thoughts that you have on today's Mindful Monday for gender roles that you want to lead the people with throughout the week on this Mindful Monday?
Mindful Monday, gender roles. Thank you for joining. We love you guys. Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you. Until next week, Mindful Mondays. Necee K Ham.